Hey, what's going on, Dragon Ballers? Welcome back to another video. This time I want to discuss what the best color in the game is. I saw this post on Facebook recently, and someone asked, well, what's the best color in the game right now? And I was reading through the comments, and I saw a variety of answers. I saw some answers that I just didn't think made any sense, and I saw some answers that I kind of agreed with. I commented on the post, and I said blue is the best support color, and red is the best color on its own, like the best color in the game, period. And we see this a lot on the top tables of these events because red blue decks constantly top, they constantly win. We see this all the time. So I kind of want to just bring this discussion up and talk about why red is currently the best color in the game, and why blue is the best support color in the game, and why yellow is definitely not the best color in the game. So we'll start off with this leader here, Son Goku, Super Saiyan 3 leader. I know everyone talks about it like it's a broken record. It's definitely old at this point, but it's just the best leader in the game. It just does everything. It promotes every single style of play. It promotes control. It promotes aggression. It promotes everything you want to play. Like, in my opinion, I wish the leader choice would kind of influence play style and deck style. But with this leader being present in the game, it just promotes everything. You have your aggression. You charge 2. If you hit red, blue, or double red, you can play 2 of the 1-drop attackers, swing your opponent 3 times on the turn, swing for 4 to 5 damage, and it just gets pretty insane. You awaken that same turn, draw 5, 6, 7 cards. It gets really, really nutty. And then if you want to play a control deck, the only real control decks that I believe have proven themselves up to this point have been Super Saiyan 3 control decks, whether it's mono blue or blue green or blue yellow. I want to say those are the top decks of these tables right now. I don't. Please prove me if I'm wrong. I have not seen all the results from Gen Con yet. So as far as I know, Super Saiyan 3 lead control decks are at the top tables at these events and at like the top of the meta game. And this leader is the only leader that can really promote a control style of play because it energy ramps and gets you to your control drops faster. All the drops that pop things, all the drops that prevent your opponent from doing certain things are all like 4, 5, and 6 drops. And what leader can get there in this format? Super Saiyan 3 leader, who energy ramps you, and when he awakens, gives you free energy to defend with. So that's just one of the reasons why blue is the best support color, because this leader supports any kind of playstyle you want to play. And while that is a cool thing for a lot of players, a lot of people think that that's one of the reasons why this leader shouldn't be touched. I think it's way too free. I think it's completely unpunishing because of all the free energy you get at the end of that turn. It's completely unpunishing. There's way too much playstyle diversity with this leader. You can play pretty much any strategy you want in the leader, and it is for those reasons it is broken to me. But it's the best support in the game for any strategy you want to play. So that's one reason why blue is the best support color, is solely because of this leader. That's one of the big reasons. Now we'll get into the blue main deck cards that, in my opinion, make blue incredible support color. So we have the legendary flute. This card is, a lot of people say it's really broken. I agree with them. This card just bounces back any of your 3 or less drops and draws you a card. So it cycles through your deck, allows you to re-abuse any of your cheap attackers, like red's cheap attackers like Sankaba and Intensifying Power Trunks. So incredible support card there. Again, it's not a card that is going to win you the game on its own outright if you didn't have those attackers, meaning it's a good support card. Then we have Senzu Bean and Unyielding Spirit Trunks. Those are the untaps that blue leaders can play. Senzu Bean is not restricted to blue leaders, but Unyielding Spirit Trunks is. And Unyielding Spirit Trunks is arguably more broken because it takes you from tapped out to untapped. I'm not saying Unyielding Spirit Trunks needs to be banned or errated or anything like that. It's just one of the biggest reasons that red-blue aggro is able to aggress so well. They can go on turn 1, turn 2, turn 3 from tapped out to untapped and just continue their plays with more of this guy, with Senzu Bean, and incredible plays like that. Then we have Radiant Spirit Son Gohan. It's another great support card in blue, especially in the SS3 builds where you have 3 free energy on your turn in order to combo this guy into play. This guy really, really comes in clutch in the mono blue and green blue and yellow blue versions of the decks, where you're trying to defend your life total, you're trying to defend your big threats on the board so your opponent can't kill them. And what leader could better utilize something like this Raging Spirit Son Gohan? No one can do it better than SS3 because of that 3 free energy at the end of your turn. So that is another reason why blue becomes one of the best support colors in the game, is because of these 4 cards. And actually, the Playing God Zeno is in that discussion as well. It's a great support card. It supports red incredibly because of the chain attack trunks. So on top of red having everything else, which we haven't really talked about yet, it has a reset button. So if red is falling behind, it has a reset button to even back out the game. So that's one of the big things that supports red, and one of the reasons why red has everything in its color. But yeah, back to these next two blue cards. We have True to Dangerous Bergamo and Awe-Inspiring Super Saiyan Blue Vegito. These aren't necessarily support cards per se. These are more kind of like the win conditions that mono blue decks utilize, and like blue green decks against these aggro decks. But then again, they are also kind of supporting because, you know, these guys aren't super duper threatening on their own. They're just, you know, defending cards, and they're not really going to be killing the opponent unless, you know, you're willing out the resources, which is what a lot of those decks want to do. But yeah, these cards are just basically there to stall out aggro decks. So it's a bit more support in blue. So that's what they're there for. So that's why I think blue is the best support color in the game at the moment, because, you know, like I said, we do see a lot of these red blue aggro decks running around killing everyone. So now we'll get into the red cards and why red is the best color in the game. So red realistically has everything a color wants. It has cheap attackers. So the cheap attackers here, we have Intensifying Power Trunks and Sand Kala. So cheap attackers, 1-drop 15k threats that draw you cards when they swing, especially drawing you cards from your life, allowing you to awaken incredibly early. And when paired with the Son Goku leader, you know, awakening turn 1 is very, very feasible and very, very easy. So Intensifying Power Trunks, 15k critical threat in the early turns of the game. As early as turn 1, you attack your leader, you draw a card, you deny them a card by not giving them a card off their life. So you're +1ing there, and then you flute it back, which again makes blue incredibly good support. So you get that card back to your hand, and then you can reuse that Intensifying Power Trunks later on, or even in the same turn, given the right setup and right hand. Then you have Sand Kala, a double strike finisher for one single energy. One single energy, attacks, draws you cards to even further help you kill your opponent. And again, abusable and reusable by flute. Then we have Burst Tech Son Gohan. This card is incredibly strong. It's a new card out of Tournament Pack 4. What this allows you to do is, again, pressure for critical, so you're not giving your opponent cards ever. And it is summonable off Chain Attack Trunks. And what it allows you to do is, it allows you to do a couple things. It allows you to defend your life total. You can go down to as little as 3, 4, or 2 cards in hand. And then you drop this guy, or if you already have him established, he's going to refuel your hand. He's going to put you back up to 6 if you were at 4, and, you know, that kind of thing. So it gives you a ginormous draw engine in a red deck, which is really, really strong to have. You know, being around 6 cards every single turn is really hard for your opponent to recover from. And the fact that this guy swings for critical and has a 15k body is nothing to laugh at, and it's not especially easy to get over. And the pressure you can put on with these smaller drops makes it really hard for controlling decks that aren't playing SS3 to either spot remove this guy or deal with him. So then red has 4 additional copies of a Super Combo and Unbreakable Super Saiyan Son Goku. This, of course, is played in most decks, even off-color decks. But the fact that it's red means you don't mind charging it, especially if you're playing the SS3 leader. You don't care if it's flipped off your life and your energy. Unlike if you're playing, you know, red-green, or blue-green or blue-yellow. You kind of care a little bit more if you happen to flip that over in your Super Saiyan 3 deck with those types of colors. But in red, it just incredibly synergistic. You know, you have 8 copies of Super Combo, and you don't mind if it gets charged. Then we have Chain Attack Trunks, arguably one of the most broken cards on this entire page. Allows you to play any 15k or less drop, and with the introduction of Intensifying Power Trunks, that's as early as turn 2. So you go Intensifying Power on 1. Next turn, when you have 2 reds, or if it's SS3, you can even do this turn 1. You drop Chain Attack Trunks. And the best targets for that are Burst Tech Son Gohan, like I said, to refuel your hand when you're defending your life total or just aggressing your opponent incredibly hard. Or you drop Xeno the Playing God, which gives red a reset button. So what we've seen so far is red has incredibly cheap attackers, red has incredible draw power, red has 8 additional super combos, red has a reset button, and next up, red has hand control with Foreseeing Hit. So Foreseeing Hit is a red 4-drop that looks at your opponent's hand, and you can warp 2 battle cards that have 35,000 power or under. So again, incredibly strong controlling effect. Red, which is supposed to be an aggro color, has this incredibly strong control card that gives you complete knowledge of your opponent's hand and removes 2 threats from their hand for 2 turns. So incredibly strong. The only thing red doesn't really have is like pure true spot removal, which like you could technically tech in if you were playing a strategy that revolved around Chain Attack Trunks really hard, you can splash in other colors that were just summoned off Chain Attack because Chain Attack is so generic. And then you can play the 4-drop Jiren that can attack active battle cards and gains 30k in the first swing. So I'm happy that red doesn't have true spot removal, because then it would really have everything that a color needs to have. It would literally have the properties of every single color in the game. And I saw a post, a comment on that same post that said that yellow is the best color in the game because of like Shugesh, Flying Nimbus, and Cold Bloodlust. I completely disagree with that. Shugesh has been checked by Time Control Konoha. It's still an incredibly strong card, but the fact that it can be turned off by one side deck card for the entire game for 1 energy, it makes it not as strong as it used to be. It's just a matter of the fact. Flying Nimbus is actually very good against this aggro format because you can limit the number of attacks your opponent can get in a turn. So that is a somewhat true statement. And Crusher Ball is incredibly good as well as format. It puts in a lot of work, especially against these 1-drop attackers, because your opponent's not getting value off of them. If they flip them back, they're not plussing anything. They just wasted an energy and gained 0 advantage, but you did neg 1 on the Crusher Ball, unless you're playing Mecha Frieza. So what I mean to say by this is yellow is nowhere near the best color in the format right now. It is a decent strategy to try and combat the best colors in the format, which are red, blue. But then again, like I said, you're playing to combat the best colors in the game. You're not playing the best colors in the game. So that's kind of where that falls. And then green, this format is very much a non-factor, unfortunately, even though green is like probably my favorite color in the game. It's very much a non-factor this format. You know, the closest thing to a factor I've seen that has been floating around are like the rainbow SS3 decks or the blue-green SS3 control decks, which, as far as I know, like blue-green, besides winning a few states here and there, I don't think has really done too much. Didn't really do anything at ARG Boston. I cannot vouch for how it has done at Gen Con, but I don't remember hearing anything about it from what I've seen about Gen Con. So that's my thing with green, this format. So yeah, easily, guys, best color in the game right now is red. Best supporting color is blue, and red-blue is the best paired colors in the game right now. So let me know what you guys think. I know I've said some potentially controversial topics, cards that are broken, cards that are incredibly good. So let me know what you guys think about this video. Let me know what you guys think about the format right now, what the best colors in the format are. If you agree with me, disagree with me. If you like videos like this that talk about the format and talk about the meta, please do let me know. I really enjoy having really competitive discussions like this, like things that are driven by competition and competitive meta. So please let me know if you like that. If you like this kind of video, please consider liking, subscribing. It really mean the world to me, and we can get you more great Dragon Ball Super content like this. So with that being said, guys, my name is Joey from Crossroads TCG, and I'll see you next time.